Carrie Fisher's career extended well beyond playing space princesses. Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 Carrie Fisher performances.
I can't help it if I like a shot of tequila every once in a while.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we'll only be looking at films and television shows in which Carrie Fisher plays a character. This can include fictionalized versions of herself. However, non-fiction films such as Wishful Drinking will not be included.
A fly is as likely to land on shit as it is on pie.
Number 10. Herself, Sex and the City.
I told you, no prostitutes when you're house sitting.
Short and sweet, that's the best way to describe this Carrie Fisher performance. The legendary actress had a cameo in Sex and the City's 3rd season, playing a fictional version of herself, who comes home only to discover that her personal assistant, played by Vince Vaughn, and the one and only Carrie Bradshaw have just had sex in her bed. Fisher proceeds to label Bradshaw a prostitute multiple times before kicking them both out of the room.
Going to bring prostitutes to Ben's new $3 million home?
The scene's best moment comes when Bradshaw attempts to save face by telling Fisher she's a writer too, only for Fisher to shoot her down.
I have a child, I can't do this.
Number 9. Bianca Burnett, Scream 3.
Hey, are you? No.
Another day, another solid cameo from Carrie Fisher. This time, she played Bianca Burnett, a former actress who bears an uncanny resemblance to, well, Carrie Fisher. In fact, when the film's main characters Sydney and Gail address it, Bianca takes a shot at her former director when she laments,
I was this close. So who gets it? The one who sleeps with George Lucas.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up a sore subject for you.
Sure you didn't.
It's a brilliant bit of self-effacing humor that Fisher herself actually had a hand in writing. While her performance in this film didn't win her any awards, it was still funny enough to score a spot on our list.
I don't work for the cops, sweetie. I work for the studio.
Number 8. Angela, Family Guy.
Mr. Griffin, we have different rules here. For starters, no drinking. Period.
In the latter part of her career, the sharp-tongued Fisher was no stranger to putting in some small-screen work. So it was a match made in heaven when she landed the role of Angela on Family Guy.
Excuse me?
As Peter Griffin's no-nonsense boss at the Pawtucket Brewery, she regularly berated Quahog's resident doofus, and in one hilarious episode, even attempted to seduce him.
Oh no, I dropped my pencil.
Oh, I'll get it for you.
Her gruff yet stern voice was perfectly suited to the character, and it goes without saying that fans will sorely miss her presence on the show.
If word got out about this, it'd be one of the most notorious developments in beer history.
Number 7. Mia Norris, Catastrophe.
It's a different country. They can't extradite you for failure to pay child support.
If you thought her character on Family Guy pushed the envelope, then get ready for a whole other level of Carrie Fisher-esque comedy. Catastrophe's plot is simple enough. An American man gets a girl pregnant while visiting London, and they decide to keep the baby. But boy, is the comedy unique. Nowhere is this more apparent than with Fisher's character Mia Norris.
I'm so glad that Rob has found someone after everything with Betsy.
As the male protagonist's mother, Mia is the human equivalent of a cyclone, tearing through every scene she appears in and leaving a trail of destruction in her wake. Cussing out her eBay competition to regularly mispronouncing her granddaughter's name, Fisher absolutely nails this performance.
Did you know that you can actually message people from inside eBay? I will always answer one of those.
Number 6. Rosemary Howard, 30 Rock.
You're gonna kill me, aren't you?
Fisher popped up in the season 2 episode Rosemary's Baby, where she played Liz Lemon's somewhat off-kilter writing idol Rosemary Howard. The role, which saw her playing an over-the-hill writer full of controversial ideas who lives in a bad part of town and secretly drinks wine from a thermos all day, is easily one of her best.
I have an idea. We open on a New Orleans abortion clinic. A beautiful mulatto.
I don't think we're allowed to use any of those words.
The brief but memorable performance culminates in Fisher parodying her most famous Star Wars line when she cries out to a fleeing Liz,
Help me, Liz Lemon! You're my only hope!
The expression, never meet your heroes, has never been more fitting.
Is that guy carrying a gun?
Yeah, but don't worry, he's not a cop.
Number 5. Lorna Karpf, Shampoo.
I'm nothing like my mother.
Set on the day Richard Nixon was elected president in 1968, Shampoo is the story of a womanizing hairdresser whose numerous sexual dalliances finally start to catch up with him. While visiting one of his wealthier lovers, our hairdresser meets Lorna, played by, you guessed it, Carrie Fisher.
I never get my hair done.
The role was her feature film debut, and despite starring opposite Hollywood heavyweight Warren Beatty, the young Fisher did a fantastic job. Her character is as straightforward as they come, asking Beatty's character point blank within minutes of meeting him whether or not he's gay. In retrospect, the performance was a telling sign of the frank honesty Fisher would become known for.
Are you gay? You want a baked apple?
Number 4, Carol Peterson, The Burbs.
He can't come out until he resembles the man that I married.
A dark comedy starring Tom Hanks, Bruce Dern, and the late Carrie Fisher, The Burbs is about a stressed-out suburban man who begins to suspect that his new neighbors are murderers. Featuring a truly manic Hanks, the film is both a hilarious introspection into the complex world of American suburbia and an examination of just how damaging obsession can be. Fisher is great as Hanks' concerned wife Carol, serving as the film's voice of reason despite being surrounded by a group of eclectic men who are convinced their next-door neighbors are insane.
Who are you calling?
I'm calling the Delvanys and having them open the cottage.
No, Carol, I don't want to go.
It's too bad they didn't work together more often, as Hanks and Fisher make for one awesome cinematic duo.
Are you gonna eat any of this?
Oh, no, I got that thing with my stomach again.
Number 3, Mystery Woman, The Blues Brothers. Her first film role after having starred in 2 Star Wars films back-to-back, The Blues Brothers was an opportunity for Fisher to show the world a different side of herself. She played a mystery woman, a young lady with a penchant for smoking cigarettes and attempting to murder Jake and Elwood Blues.
You miserable slug. You think you can talk your way out of this?
From rocket launchers to flamethrowers, her character seemingly knew no bounds when it came to her assassination attempts. Of course, the ends almost justify the means, as by the end of the film, we learn that Fisher's mystery woman is actually Jake's ex-fiancée, who he left at the altar. It's a truly hilarious performance that made us realize that we should never mess with Carrie Fisher.
For my mother, my grandmother, my father, my uncle, and for the common good, I must now kill you.
Number 2, Marie, When Harry Met Sally.
Someone is staring at you in personal growth.
Arguably her most famous role outside of Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher's performance in this film was understandably overshadowed by the performances of Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. However, her take on Marie, Sally's best friend who ultimately falls for Harry's best friend, is still one of her best.
If you don't grab him, someone else will, and you'll have to spend the rest of your life knowing that someone else is married to your husband.
Most actors will agree that a strong screenplay makes their job a whole lot easier, and boy did this film have a great one.
Restaurants are to people in the 80s what theater was to people in the 60s. I read that in a magazine.
Nominated for an Academy Award and 5 Golden Globes, the film is often recognized as one of the best rom-coms in cinematic history. As such, Fisher's inclusion in this legendary flick made making it our number 2 an easy decision.
Tell me I'll never have to be out there again.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
I will get a glow just thinking of you.
I want grease. I like red meat. I got pork chops hidden in the freezer.
We could try it one more time, and this time, I don't know. Maybe try one without your shirt.
Number 1, Princess Leia, the Star Wars franchise.
What the hell are you doing?
Somebody has to save our skins.
Like you didn't see this coming. Without a doubt her most famous character, the role of Princess Leia would ultimately define her career. Fisher inhabited the role 5 times, most recent of which was in 2017's Star Wars The Last Jedi. During her time as the franchise's preeminent space badass, Fisher produced a plethora of iconic moments, quotes, and styles.
I love you.
I know.
From her exchange with Han Solo prior to him being frozen in carbonate, to single-handedly taking out Jabba the Hutt, Fisher's Princess Leia will go down as one of the most celebrated characters in the history of sci-fi. It's a shame she left us so soon, as we could have watched her lead galactic rebellions for years.
Ray, may the Force be with you.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from Ms. Mojo and subscribe for new videos every day.